o'clock so people look for us. So we want to make sure that we're always on time. And then what I'll do is I'll wind this down. We'll have a minute left. And we just get to have some fun with Chuck Jones.
We're going to do it.
Chuck Jones. I know I'm a goofball, right? I got Chuck Jones. Okay, we're about 30 seconds out.
Good.
I get to play my own engineer, so that's always fun. Okay, about 10 seconds out. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live from RadioNext.tv, way out here in McCordsville. Yes, at Collaborative 317, where we make it happen, all community, all the time. If you're not familiar with Radio Next, you need to find us out and look us up. I got a surprise for you. HB is working on some things, and our website he's retooling some things. I'm excited for what we're bringing. I see you guys see my man sitting right here. The folks on the radio, y'all missing out. I got Chuck Jones in the building tonight. I'm excited about it. But you know me, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about a few things that are going on. Good stuff. So this week, I had the opportunity to speak to a powerful group of women. It was Women for Joe. On Tuesday, I had a chance to meet Jill Donnelly. Man, we had some great speakers on the panel. Cherish Pryor, Carrie Hamilton, my homegirl and mentor, Christina Hale. The women were hyped. It was a room full of ladies. And we were like, yes, we're about to get it done for Joe Donnelly. Now, here's the deal. This was my message to the team. I asked Jill, who has been married to Joe Donnelly for 39 years. I asked, do you and Joe Donnelly agree 100% of the time? And she actually loves him, right? So I asked her that, and she's like, no, we don't agree 100% of the time. Listen, stop expecting to follow and you have a politician that you agree with 100% of the time. You're going to be disappointed every time, right? Joe Donnelly is our best option. Joe Donnelly is our best option. If you don't like Joe Donnelly, I'm just going to throw a couple of names out there for you to consider. Messer and Rakita. Because if you don't vote for Donnelly, you're going to get Messer or Rakita. I don't care about you. That makes me sweat and nervous a little bit. I mean, my goodness. I mean, look what's happening in the Senate right now as is. And what's going on in Washington as is. Look at little scaredy Ryan. He don't even want to run for office anymore. Little dude with his little backwards hat and he in the gym with his weights. He need to pump some bigger iron, apparently, because he done got nervous. He's not running anymore. I'm not going to run for a re-election. I'm the Speaker of the House. I'm just going to step down. Why? Because you a punk and you scared. Because you see the blue wave. This is a tsunami, baby. It's happening. Yes, even the Speaker of the House is scared. Running scared. But listen, early voting has started this week. Get your behinds to the polls. If you live in Marion County, I'm sorry, we only have one polling location, early polling location. It's at the City County building. Eventually, we'll get to a point where we have more than one. But right now, we only have one, and our Marion County clerk, Mila Eldridge, has redone her whole office to make it more convenient for people to come down and early vote. So don't trip. Don't play. Get to the primaries. There's a lot of good primary races up and down the ballot. So please, good Democrats, pull your Democrat card, wave it high, and then cast your ballot. Let the chips fall where they may, Democrats. Right? We coming strong, we coming hard, but get to the polls, vote early. All right. See, I could spend like all day talking about stuff, but I am not going to miss a minute. A minute of talking to you know who, Chuck Jones. So like if you have never watched CNN, then maybe you don't know who this young man is. If you, in the 2016 campaign, when the orange dude showed up on the west side of Indianapolis talking about, we're going to keep all those carrier jobs, there was one voice that said, he's lying. He's flat out lying. Who didn't fall in love with Chuck Jones just that night? I did. Yo, everyone, please give a warm, hearty welcome to my very special guest. And listen, if you're sensitive ears, y'all might want to turn the volume down because this is my man. And I asked him to keep it real, keep it Chuck Jones-like. So if you're sensitive, you might want to turn this down. But this is my guy. He is also running for Wayne Township trustee. Everybody, please welcome labor advocate, union man, Trump hater, Chuck Jones. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Turn Left.
Thank you very much, Dana. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
I mean, I feel I'm the one that's lucky. You know, you usually talking to Don Lemon.
I've known you a long time, and I know you've got a successful show here, and I'm just honored to be on it.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm super stoked. I told my wife that Chuck Jones was coming on the show. I'm gonna be honest, she really didn't care about many of the other ones, but I told her Chuck Jones was coming on.
Well, we're gonna make it entertaining.
That's what we're gonna do. So first of all, tell the people a little bit about who you are. We've seen you on CNN, we've heard you give speeches, but give the people a little bit of your history and who you are and why you're doing what you're doing.
Well, I was raised in a middle class family. My father worked at Bridgeport Brass, which is now closed. It was a steelworker plant.
Okay.
My mother was a homemaker, and brought up on the west side of Indianapolis. Attended Ben Davis Junior High, Ben Davis High School, and when I got out of high school, I was only 17 years old.
Okay.
And I got out in January, and I was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken for $1.35 an hour. I thought, well, I got to do something. I was only getting 20 hours in.
Oh wow!
So my buddy said, well, come over to Link Belt, and Link Belt used to be the name for what is currently known as Rexnord, which is currently closed down. So I went over there and lied about my age and hired in the plant at the age of 17. I had just turned 17 in August, hired in February, and worked there. Started in as a janitor, $2.21 an hour.
Okay,
and didn't know what to do with all the money because the first week I made like $121. So I worked a lot of overtime. But through the years, I progressed to other jobs, and I ended up getting a journeyman's card as a machine repairman. I went through an apprenticeship plan.
Okay.
In 1985, I decided to run for office, and we had the two plants, one on Rockville Road in Indianapolis, one on Belmont Avenue. And I ran for office, ran for vice president, got elected. And then all of a sudden, that started my union career. Now, I was over as either the president or vice president for 30-some odd years, with the exception of 3 years when I got beat. But I came back and was president, and we amalgamated in 1998.
Okay, wait, what is amalgamated?
Amalgamation was, at the time, they had 32 standalone steelworker local unions.
Okay.
And they wanted to combine them into one.
Okay.
And they combined them into one, which became Local 1999, and I became the president.
Okay.
So, we had Carrier, Diamond Chain, and all kind of other facilities that we represented, and I did that until I retired this past June. Okay.
Oh wow, that's a long career. I thought you're not ready to sit down and put your feet up.
No, well, I get some of that in too.
Okay. So I wanted us today to talk a whole lot about the Democrat Party and our union brothers and sisters. And you are a union man. One of the things that I feel like we miss out on, don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of great guests on here who have like 18 degrees and are super duper smart. But labor is the crux of who we are. And I think we need to elect and have more labor folks in all branches of government, because you guys see, we see things differently. I was a Teamster for a couple of years, so I was a union steward for a little while as well. So labor is different, and there's not enough labor, regular, everyday folks being elected to office. I mean, tell me what you think about getting more union folks involved in the political process.
Well, I think we have to get back a lot of union folks that we lost last general election. And labor, for the most part, as probably all the listeners pretty much know, they go with a Democratic candidate. Well, this past time, during the primaries, we got some strong-willed women in our local.
Love it.
Women of steel, I love them. Well, we got to the point where we needed to do something in the primary, either stay out of it or make a recommendation. So on the way to the meeting that day, I thought, boy, the women are going to tear me up. So I got over there and I said, hey, I want to see about making an endorsement for Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
Everybody supported it. The women that I thought would say, hey, wait a minute, we got an opportunity with Hillary Clinton to be the first woman president, they supported it. The movement, I've never seen in the 30 years I was over there be as strong behind a particular candidate as they were behind Senator Bernie Sanders.
Okay. Yeah, he won Indiana. He won.
He won Indiana. We was the first local to endorse Bernie. The day of the primary, Bernie had a rally the night before at the Circle. He sent one of his guys down and said, Bernie wants to eat breakfast with you in the morning. Me and Bernie, I met Bernie downtown. We got in a limo, went to Pepe's Grill in Fountain Square.
Okay, keeping it real.
Yeah, kept it real. And for about an hour and 15, it was just me and Bernie
chucking it up. Yeah.
You know, and to be quite honest, I don't like a lot of politicians because a lot of them are phony.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders isn't a phony.
Okay. And he proved to be the candidate for the common man.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, it was almost like the other side that won actually kind of stole his message.
They did.
Of working for the common man.
That's what Trump did.
Like I said, we've seen you talk about on national TV about Trump and his stance. Talk about that moment when you were involved with, because I couldn't believe that he was actually having a tete-a-tete with you.
Well, what happened was, and as you well said, and I've said it before, when Bernie was out of the race, Donald Trump took Bernie's message, and I didn't believe him because my whole thing is he's got businesses and he's got them overseas. He's not saying I'm going to bring any of my businesses back.
Right.
He's saying, Carrier, you're not going nowhere. And through a lot of his spiels, he mentioned Carrier in Indianapolis. They're not going anywhere if he was president.
If he was president, I remember that.
So anyway,
because he's a deal maker.
Oh yeah, he's the best negotiator there
ever
was. Ever. So he ends up getting elected. Okay, so he's going to be the president whether we like it or not. Me and others said, well, we're going to hold him accountable. He got a lot of labor support,
yes,
a lot of labor votes.
Yes, he did.
Based
way more
on
than he should have.
Carrier and other facilities not leaving this country. So we're going to hold him accountable. We're not going away. We're going to keep on hammering his ass, so to speak.
Right.
So he can be accountable for his campaign promises. Then it was Thanksgiving Day. I started getting phone calls, people wanting to know what I knew about Trump and UTC, the parent company of Carrier, making an agreement. I didn't know nothing. So the next day we go back to work and found out that he was President-elect Trump and that he and UTC were in negotiations on trying to do something here in Indianapolis. Still didn't know any particulars.
Okay.
About a week later, there was a release come out, said that Trump and Pence were coming in town to do a press conference.
Oh, yeah.
We still don't know what the hell's going on. So the day of the press conference, we get over to the plant. Well, let me tell you this. They invited about 6 of us union officers.
Okay. Because they had to.
Well, yeah.
They kind of had to.
To be honest, I didn't want to go.
Okay.
And, I don't know Trump, but I don't like him. I know Pence, I don't like him. So
no reason for you to go hang out with people you don't like.
There was no reason for me to go. I needed to stay at the Union Hall and do the work of the people. But since I was the local president, I went. So we get over there when the company told us to be there about 3 hours early. About an hour before we went into the room, the company took us aside and said, hey, this is what the breakdown is. Now, at the time, we had 1,200 bargaining unit members. That's union members.
Okay.
So the company said, okay, what's going to happen is 730 jobs, bargaining unit jobs, are going to remain here in Indianapolis. Another 70 office clerical supervisor jobs are going to remain. So it'd be about 1,100. Well, what they weren't saying at the time, they had said 5-6 months earlier that research and development, that's a separate entity, that's company jobs, that's located on Carrier property in another building. They, excuse me.
No problem.
They never were going away.
Okay.
So from day one, then 400 jobs were going to stay here in Indy. So they said that's 1,100. So I said, how the hell you come up with 1,100 with 700 and another 730, another 70? They said, oh, the research and development jobs. I said, well, yeah, but they weren't going away
Anyway, right?
So anyway, excuse me.
That's all right, boss.
We get into the meeting. Now, Carrier had invited about 100 employees to be in this big room when Trump come on.
Okay.
So here, Trump's running late, by the way. But here he comes in, his orange-ass face, and
because he orange, ain't he?
He's orange. The man's orange. Plus, he's got small hands. But, they had assigned seating for us, so I'm in the third row. And he comes in and pins. And the UTC people, they're there with him. And they talking about how wonderful UTC was. They was able to sit down and work out a deal where Trump said, we're going to be able to save 1,100 jobs. Mm-hmm. Now, the people in the room at the time, they didn't know what the breakdown was.
Right.
They knew there was 1,200 union members, and he's saying they're saving
1,100 jobs. Right.
People are crying, thinking that they're going to have a job now after finding out they weren't going to have a job. They're crying, and they're screaming, thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Governor Pence. I'm sitting there boiling. And so I keep on waiting for him to say, hey,
let's look at the breakdown.
Here's the breakdown. I wasn't able to save everybody's job because 550 are still going to go to Monterrey, Mexico. But in my opinion, his big-ass ego would not allow him to be honest. So what he did, he misled those people. They left out of that room that evening. They went home. They told their family, President Trump said, I'm going to have a job.
Yes.
So
playing with people's future.
Yeah. So you can imagine that. So the next day, what we did, we flooded the plant with the breakdown, the 730 and the 70. Well, people get it. And they're saying, well, wait a minute. President Trump said 1,100 jobs. The union's saying, 730 and 70, 800. What in the hell is the truth? Well, they go to the company says, well, yeah, that's the right numbers the union's got. So at that point in time, that word leaks out. And it might have been the next day or the day later, I'm getting all kind of requests to be on TV and to tell my side of the story on the breakdown. Sure. Well, in the meantime, I get a call from a lady named Danielle Paquette, which happens to be from Avon, Indiana.
Okay.
She reported for the Washington Post.
Okay.
And she said, Chuck, can you tell me what happened? Well, I was in a frisky mood at that point in time.
I hope you've been frisky today.
Well, I'll be frisky. So, I said, well, this is what happened. And she said, well, what do you think? I said, well, he lied his ass off.
Right.
And I said, it was a dog and pony show. And at one point in time, and this is true too, I almost threw up in my mouth. It was so sickening.
Well, yeah, every time I look at him, I want to throw up a little bit in my mouth.
Well, can I quote you on that? I said, you quote me on any effing thing I say. She said, okay. Well, that comes out.
Okay.
Okay, now all of a sudden MSNBC, CNN, and all of them get rolling. So the next day, it's out there. Now the local media, they want me over to Union Hall at 6 o'clock in the morning to open up. So I get over there at 6. I usually get there at 7. I got there at 6. I did an interview with Channel 6, Channel 13. And then in the meantime, here comes CNN, MSNBC.
All the national boys.
Everybody was there. So I agreed to do an interview at the Union Hall at 7 o'clock, I believe it was, on the Stephanie Ruhle show. No, it wasn't Stephanie Ruhle.
Helpers are here, so that,
Aaron Burnett show.
So, wait a minute. So people know that we're not crazy and talking to ghosts. Who did you bring with you today?
I got one of my campaign people over
okay.
with me. So, yeah. So, Aaron Burnett show. So, I did her show from 7 to 8.
Okay.
Well, and I've been talking all day long.
Right.
I talk a lot, but be quite honest, I was talked out.
Okay,
So I do her show, 8 o'clock comes, I'm ready to get my ass at home.
Right.
Now, there was a basketball game on. I can't remember who
it's Indiana. Playing. Basketball. Boom.
Well, I'm going to watch some kind of basketball. So I was looking forward to going home, kicking back, watching some basketball. And so, time I get home, it was probably 8:30ish. I walk in the door. Brett Voorhees, which happens to be the AFL-CIO
Good man.
president.
Good man.
I've known him since he's been a little bitty kid. He calls me, and he's in a panic. He said, Chuck, he said, Donald Trump's tweeting something about you. Well, I start laughing. And he said, I'm serious. And I said, well, what did he say? And so the first tweet had come out, and I can't remember what the hell it was. But anyway, he told me that, and I said, well, that wasn't very damn nice. Brett said, this is serious shit. And I said, oh. And I think I said F him. And in the meantime, then my phone starts going off. They want me to come back on all these shows, CNN and MSNBC. All the reporters now are wanting to know what the hell's going on because Donald Trump, the president-elect, has tweeted me. And somewhere in the course of the night, he tweets out something else that I wasn't worth a shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, I finally got off the phone. I quit answering the phone at probably 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And I probably had 100 messages I couldn't keep up with.
Oh, my goodness.
But, during this Trump stuff, he never, ever challenged my numbers. He knew he
couldn't.
He knew he lied his ass off. The man attacked me personally, and I could give a rat's ass.
Right.
I don't care what Donald Trump thinks of me. I got elected 10 out of 11 times as president or vice president of the union. Them are the people that I represent. Them are the people that I care about, not somebody that takes his work and his jobs out of this country and then wants to put a dog and pony show on what everybody else should do in order to try to get votes. And what he did, he simply lied to the American people.
He did. And what I loved about you, and one of the things that I love about you more, and I actually kind of sometimes find myself in trouble in places, you are not afraid. You didn't let his tweets punk you and send you back into a little room. And to me, that's a man's man. Like sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I look at the senators, the Republican senators, and I'm thinking, shoot, I got more testosterone than all of y'all put together.
That's why I've got issues with a lot of politicians.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he tried to bully you, and you was like, man, do please.
I thought, be quite honest, I'm not macho man by no means. I thought it was funny. I mean, here's this guy, lied his ass off to people, and now instead of letting it go away and shutting the hell up, he wants to keep it in the limelight. That's just pure and simple ignorance.
Right. And he didn't even realize he had lost.
Yeah.
He didn't even realize.
No.
And we need more politicians. I know you say you don't like them.
No.
But we need more people like you running for office who understand what it is just to be, the regular Joe, the regular everyday working person. I mean, you were telling me right before we came on, as a leader of a union, you have a cross section of humanity that you deal with, and you talked about how you were there. You've always had to be there. Share some of that and how that leadership transcends just wanting to run for public office.
Well, as a union officer, a lot of times you don't like to know about everybody's business, but people look at you as a leader, and if something's going on in their life, they'll come to you and say, hey, man, I got some serious problems. I need to sit down and talk to you. And it could be they're going through a divorce. They got an alcohol or drug problem. That maybe their son or daughter is having some issues and trouble, and maybe the daughter's pregnant. Maybe their son's locked up or got a drug addiction problem, and they're looking for help. And I've always tried to do my best to help people out on situations. And anytime back in the old days, we had pagers, and I left my pager on all the time. If it went off at 3 o'clock in the morning, I called it back. And when they come out with cell phones, I left my cell phone. Somebody called me at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It was important enough for them to call me, so it was, in my opinion, important enough for me to answer and talk to them. And a lot of times, they wanted somebody to talk to, get some advice, and I did that. Now, as Dana said earlier, I'm running for Wayne Township trustee. Was I interested in getting involved in politics? Hell no. A lot of people say, well, when I was in the 4th grade, I decided, I wanted to grow up to do that. When I was in the 4th grade, I think I wanted to be a baseball player, but it sure as hell wasn't a politician.
Absolutely.
But I've been at Wayne Township 64, my 66 years.
Wow.
And when somebody approached me about running for Wayne Township trustee, did I really know what it all consisted of? No. I know there's 5 fire departments, and you're over those, and poor relief is a big part of what a trustee does in a township. So I got thinking, well, I think I can make a difference. I think I can help people. Now, with that being said, I decided to go ahead and run. Now, what is happening in Wayne Township, it's about 147,000 people. It's a pretty good-sized township.
It is.
And
there are towns that are not that big.
Yes.
In Indiana.
I see a lot of people, and I'm not talking about your professional people on the sides of the interstate wanting money, but there's a homeless camp over there. And I went over there to try to help those folks out. And then one day I was going down West Washington Street, which happened to be about 2 blocks from the trustee's office, and I see a guy in a wheelchair rooting through a trash can. We can do better than that. People today shouldn't have to live that way.
No.
Now, in Wayne Township, last year they gave out just a little over $1 million in poor relief. They're sitting on $2 million right now in poor relief in a fund.
What? And that money is specifically earmarked to help poor people?
Yes. They've got $6 million in rainy day fund. Well,
what?
Yes. Them are public record.
You can look that up. It's open
up. Yeah. And guess what, folks? It's raining. People need help. And, that's what I intend on doing. We're going to help people get a hand up with dignity and respect, and, try to make it best we possibly can to get them started in a new direction. Now, a lot of them are veterans.
Yeah.
Veterans need help.
Absolutely.
Now, do they need some guidance on where they can get help out? Yeah, and we intend on doing that. Now, the Wayne Township office for poor relief is located over off West Washington Street in Lyndhurst.
Okay.
The people that need poor relief, a lot of them haven't got transportation. They haven't got any money.
Right.
How do they get there? They have to make an appointment. They can't always.
How are they going to make that? To make the appointment, are they going to call? They probably don't have cell phones.
No.
How do they make the appointment?
And they just can't walk in. So what I intend on doing is putting a couple satellite offices in.
Okay.
Not build offices, but
rent some space. Yeah, rent some
space. Put them in a church or whatever, and make it easier for the people that need relief to get it and take in walk-in business.
Right.
There's no reason in the world why a person should have to make an appointment. We're going to do things a little bit different. We're intending to help people out that need help. We're intending on making the fire department, and we've got the best firefighters here in Indianapolis and Wayne Township.
Okay, claim it.
We're going to do that, make their job better, safer, and hopefully it spreads to the community where we can take care of a lot of things that maybe have been neglected in the past.
I love that you have a vision. So first and foremost, you were like me, and you touched my heart because it's all about how do we improve the lives of humans, or how do we improve the lives of the Hoosiers that live around us. Everybody has a skill set, and if you've already been a caretaker and a nurturer, right? So when you were in the union, this is a natural progression for you. Wayne Township, I don't know, you don't have a primary opponent, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so get out and vote yes this week. Because and May 8th and vote in the primary. But I'm telling you, in November, you're going to want to chat some more and find out about this man and vote for him in November. So let's talk about a little bit of policy for a minute. Because we still got a long time to go.
We got a long time.
One of the things, and again, I'm looking to you today because I haven't had a lot of union folks on, I haven't had a lot of labor folks on, and I'm excited because I'm hoping to educate my listeners about different policies that have been put in place that essentially disenfranchise and have diminished labor union participation.
It's about right to work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right to work. That sounds good. Everybody ought to have a right to work, right? Well, what the right to work is, it is in essence means that before, if you hired into a facility, working to a facility, you paid union dues. And the steel worker structure is pretty simple. It's 1.45% of what you gross.
Okay.
So in
0.154%.
In simple terms, if you gross $1,000, you're going to pay $14.50.
Okay.
That's not outrageous in my opinion. But when that law got passed and they put right to work in, that allowed the people that hired in or the people that currently work there to opt out of the union and not pay union dues. Now, they are getting all 100% of the same benefits that a dues paying person is. There's no difference except they can't vote on a contract and they can't vote for union officers.
Okay.
Besides that, they receive all the same insurance.
They get all the benefits.
They get all the benefits
without actually paying for anything.
And it'd be like me and you, Dana. We decided we're going to go to a health club. You know, we're going to work out at LA Fitness. We go in there and they say, well, it's going to be $50 a month. You know, and you say, okay, here's my 50. And, you know, I say, nah, hell, I ain't going to pay. Well, guess what? I ain't going to be able to participate either.
Right.
But, you know, local unions are treated different. Well, we got to represent people, and they don't have to pay. Now, that's pure and simple wrong. If they don't want them to pay, okay, you know, make it where they're not going to get the benefits, vacations, holidays.
They have to do their own thing.
You do your own thing. But we're still representing the folks. And when I left and retired, we had about 3,000 members. And, you know, I hate to say it, we did pretty good, even though 50's too many. We had about 50 people that are scabs. And, you know,
call them as you see them, bro.
I have no use for somebody that is a freeloader, you know, and wants to ride for free. We're talking about people that are making a pretty good wage, and they don't want to pay their share. So I've been sued over it because I put a sheet out, and it said sheet of shame, and I listed all their names and what plant they worked at, and I said at the bottom, these people have no morals.
Come on.
Then I got a call from Pittsburgh, one of our attorneys, said, hey, I got a call from one of the plants. You're creating a hostile work environment in this plant. I said, hostile work environment? Yeah. You put that sheet up and everybody's arguing back and forth. They said, you need to tone it down. So I said, I did tone it down. And they said, well, you know, you say people ain't got no morals. I said, that's toned down. And I said, well, before they're a bunch of dirty son of bitches. And she said, well, you're going to get sued over it, and we're going to have to defend the lawsuit. I said, well, I'm going to go as far. I'm going to keep them up. I'm not taking them down until the court system tells me I got to. Well, got sued over it. They brought charges to the National Labor Relations Board and prevailed on each one of them. So we can call them scabs, we can call them freeloaders, we can call them people without morals, because that's exactly what they are.
And you know, and even though people still benefiting from, you know, union labor, everybody who works today is actually benefiting from what labor has done over the years. But this was a strategic effort, and what people miss when we connect the dots, to decrease your ability to donate and help candidates that are looking out for common folks. Because now your revenue is less. They're still being represented. They're still getting all the benefits of being in the union. But now the union's ability to influence policy has now been diminished.
Well, and old saying, conquer and divide. If they can divide a local union up with what Dana said, she was exactly right, then that hinders our ability to help out the labor-friendly candidates. Now, you know, when I talk about Democrats and Republicans, you know, not all Democrats are labor-friendly candidates.
Oh, of course not.
No.
And not all Democrats are good people.
No. And not all Republicans are
horrible.
Are horrible. So, you know, for the most part,
so most of them.
You know, the Democrats and a few Republicans is who unions endorse. Now, back in the old days, and I didn't think it was right then, just because a person had a D behind their name on a ballot, people thought they had to vote for them. Well,
no.
I don't believe in that. I think that if they have values of working class people and trying to help people out that struggle to earn a living, them are the ones we have to support.
And so you're speaking our language, right? the people who struggle to make a living. And it was so crazy to me when I was campaigning in 2016, and I was excited when I was invited to union halls because my father was union. I served a little time in union, and so this was, to me, was the Democrat stronghold. Oh my God, I'm going home. And when I saw all the Trump stickers and all the, it did something to my spirit. It did something to my soul. Deb Jenkins was there that night. Our Marion County surveyor. She remembers, that night, and some Southside candidates were there. I'm having a brain freeze right now, and I see her face, a redhead with beautiful freckles. But we were like, listen, we need you guys, and this is why we need it. But then we lost them, not just because of Trump.
No.
Not just because of his lies. We did some things as a party, right? Mm-hmm. That we shouldn't have done. How can we as a party do better? What are some targeted areas that we need to do better to bring our union brothers back?
Let me start at the top of last year's presidential election. Our members did not trust Hillary Clinton. Okay. And it wasn't because of her husband's sex.
Didn't nobody care about that.
Who cares about that?
Right.
That's between him and his family. But we did care about, he's the one to put in NAFTA. Okay. And then Hillary was for the TPP, before she was against it. And she'd been wishy-washy on stuff. So, I felt like we had a flawed candidate, and I'm not anti-women by no means. I love all women.
But, like me.
I love you. But
I love all women too. That's
well, we got that in common. So, it wasn't because Hillary Clinton was a female. I just didn't like her policy.
Okay, so, and that's fair.
A lot of our members came to me, and they knew I'd be, at some point in time, hitting them up to vote Democrat. They'd come in and say, I want to tell you something right now. I'd be screaming at me. And, they were nice, but they were screaming at me.
Yeah.
I don't trust that so-and-so, Hillary Clinton. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I said, come on now, come on. You're not, buying into his stuff. Yeah, he deserves a chance. He got some good ideas, which was Bernie's message.
Right.
So.
How's that working out?
Anyway, yeah, how's it working out for him now? But at the time, I wasn't going to change your mind. So I asked him, please do me a favor. If you're set in cement, you're going to vote for Trump, please vote for John Gregg. Please vote for the down ticket. We got a golden opportunity to get a governor in that we need, so bad. Mm-hmm. And they all told me, oh, yeah, okay. Well, I can't remember, 500,000 or some kind of big number voted straight Republican. And John Gregg was ahead in the polls quite a bit the day before. But, people bought Trump's message. He sold them a bag of shit, pure and simple.
Pure and simple.
We have lost close to 100,000 jobs here in this country that's been outsourced to other countries. Now, here's the guy that was a skilled negotiator. Here's the guy, going to make America great again and takes these damn jobs out of this country, and it's not stopping. So, if you people that voted for Trump and you say, well, hell, I might have made a mistake on that. Okay, hell, everybody's entitled to a mistake. We all make those. But if you're one of them that tell me once in a while, well, hell, we need to give him a little more time. Well, how much damn time do you have to see what this guy is doing to the country?
Absolutely.
And, if you're satisfied with the way things are going in Indiana and going on throughout this country, don't vote. Stay the hell home. We had 27% of the people that voted last time. Guess what we got? We got today because people did not vote.
Right.
And the people that's got money, that want more money and getting more money, they're coming out and voting.
Yeah, and they got their tax cut.
They got their tax cut.
But we as Democrats, we've got to earn you back.
We got to earn it back. Our message has got to be in everything that Democratic platform was last time. I support gay rights, civil rights, women's rights. I support all those things. But what they forgot about is a middle class, working class, poor people. They forgot about us.
Okay.
And, we weren't energized behind a candidate like Hillary Clinton. Now, I'll never be able to prove it one way or another, but I do believe if Bernie Sanders hadn't got cheated out of the race, and I said that from Jump Street, he pure and simple got cheated out of the race, that if he'd have been had a fair shot, he'd have won the primary, and he'd have beat Donald Trump. But, who in the hell knows? But, we know right now what we got, and if we want change, we have to come out. We got to change it. Now, Dana said something earlier, and I'm full support. She asked Mrs. Donnelly, her and Joe get along all the time. She said no. Well, nobody does.
No.
But, if you folks, don't come out and vote, and you don't come out and vote for Joe Donnelly, you're making a big mistake. We'll get one of them damn goofballs, Rokita or Messer.
Yep.
That ain't what you want.
No.
Especially women. Do you want a politician telling you what you can do with your own body? Hell no. And, you want a politician that's going to, most of you, I would guess, would be working class, middle class people, trying to sell you a bag of shit on this tax break that was a bunch of bullshit.
It was terrible.
And there's still people that believe that, they're getting a windfall. Well, you might be getting a little more on your check right now, but at the end of the year, you're going to owe it. So
and on top of that, you're going to pay more for health care, which they're trying to take away now anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that was and what was killer about that one, and where I lose my shit on a regular basis. I get to say it because Chuck is here. Y'all know I've been holding it in. I'm like,
I'm corrupting Dana.
No.
Everybody listen, I'm corrupting Dana Black.
Where I lose my shit is when they talk about how the corporate tax cuts were permanent. That corporate tax rate is permanent. The tax cut that the everyday working folk got was temporary. It expires in 2023 or 2025, one of those odd years, the year after the next election, yep. Right? And here you are going to be holding the bag, higher cost for health insurance, and your tax breaks are gone.
Yep.
See, don't go for the okie doke.
And the thing about it is people buy the message. What is wrong with having affordable health care?
Nothing.
I mean, when the elderly in particular got to choose between prescriptions and food, something's wrong. And, it shouldn't be, something that people got to fight to keep.
Yeah.
It ought to be a God-given right
Absolutely.
For people to have health care.
Absolutely. And this is what we need. We need more regular, everyday folk, running for office. I almost wish and I understand why you're running for trustee. Trustee is a very important position. But, man, I would love to see you running for a House seat or a Senate seat here in the state of Indiana and shaking up them scaredy boys. I mean, I would love to see you in the House arguing a bill against Brian Bosma. That would be like... Can y'all see it?
I like that.
I mean, just the dynamic of that little arrogant bald.
Yeah.
See, I almost went straight Chuck Jones. I'm gonna bring it back. The level of arrogance, but Puna McGill's gonna beat him, so he's gonna be gone. But we need more regular, everyday folk who may, this is not a diss, but why does everybody have to be so damn polished?
Well,
why does everybody have to be so, buttoned up and so, sometimes you just need people to tell you like it is, and they sold you a bag of shit, and that's what they sold you. Now it stink. It stink real bad. Mueller is following the stink trail. He's been following the stink trail, and it's all going to come out. And it ain't going to come out in the wash. It's just going to come out and start floating to the top. They say the cream rises to the top. So the shit, it rises to the top.
So what a mess, sir.
Man, it's a hot mess. I understand the role of the trustee and how valuable it is.
Let me say this, I
got to say shit. I'm happy. Go ahead.
me not want to get involved in politics and then decide to run for trustee. People say, well, what the hell can a trustee do in Indianapolis?
Oh, a whole lot.
I've got a pretty good relationship with some of the folks downtown, Mayor Joe and Andre and Carly Messer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Justin Moed and Jared Evans and quite a few people. But anyway, I'm not saying I'm going to get everything I want for them to do out of Wayne Township, but I can promise you the residents in Wayne Township, if we want something and they can do something, we feel like we need it bad enough, I'll be a big pain in the ass to them until we do try to get something done to improve the conditions in Wayne Township.
Absolutely.
One more thing while I'm thinking about it.
Go for it.
A lot of people don't know the Mars Hill area.
Mm-hmm. I do know the Mars Hill area, yes.
It's
struggling.
Ben Davis High School. I grew up in that area.
Okay.
In fact, I moved to the home I live in right now when I was 5 years old. So
Wow.
in essence, I went nowhere in 62 years. I'm still in the same house, but I moved and got married and raised kids, and then when my mother passed, I bought the house for my sisters. But I live in the same house I moved in when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
I know the community. I know the problems they've got. They're no different than anybody else, but they're more suppressed. But they got drug addiction, and we have no community center for them young children to do. So what in the world can they do then? They hang around the streets. I'm working with a guy right now, Pete Johnson. He's a pastor in one of the churches down in Mars Hill that he just started to try to generate some money in order to build a community center in the Southfield area, so them young people have got somewhere to go. A lot of them kids, I think the percentage at the junior high school and the grade schools in that area, I think 85% of them receive free lunches.
Okay.
We know we're dealing with a tragedy there. Let's try to do something for those who are listening to see what you can do to give some support and money and otherwise to the Mars Hill
Community
Center organization. I haven't got the information in front of me.
That's all right.
If you
We'll
get
look
a
it
hold
up.
of me, I'll be glad to give it to you.
Absolutely.
These kids deserve a chance.
Absolutely, and you know what? When you and I'm glad you brought that up, because we have allowed the other side to dictate and message what it is, what poor people look like, or what poor and struggling communities look like. Sweetheart, Mars Hill is not overflowing with brown and black people. It is not.
It is now.
It is now?
It is now.
Okay, all right.
Not overflowing.
No, right, but there's more than there have been
Yes.
before. But what I'm saying is that unfortunately, being economically challenged is not restricted to one race or the other. We have Republicans that we have a Republican right now. His commercial is talking about they do this and they do that. They disrespect and you got these pictures of all these black folk. But see, what they don't tell you is that man, all these black folk, exercising their constitutional right,
Sure.
but I guess they weren't supposed to have any constitutional rights. That 19th Amendment really wasn't supposed to happen, no way, right? But understand, every community could use some help. And now you have a man who grew up in the Mars Hill area, grew up in Wayne Township, has worked there, he's toiled there, raised his family there, has a heart and a conscience, and he has compassion for his community. These are the kind of folks that we talk about on Turn Left. Sometimes I have PhDs and doctorates, and sometimes I have people with PhDs in life and understand what it is to struggle, understand what it is to see other people struggle and want to help them. These are the kind of men and women we need. I fell in love with Chuck the first time I heard him speak. I got like all starry-eyed and googly-eyed like I do. And I just kept saying, this is the kind of, and I don't mean no disrespect, this is the white guy we need. This is the white guy that ain't afraid to call it like it is. You're not ducking and dodging and faking and phony. You call it like it is. And that's what we need. Somebody on the D side who understands that sometimes it's not about race, and it's about the quality of life of people. And you are willing to represent all people, because in union, you got to represent everybody. Mm-hmm. You didn't get to say, well, I'm only going to represent white people in the union. You represented all the people. I'm just saying we are fortunate. We are fortunate not only that you are running for office, but you have not stopped fighting for people. I hope you and continue your fight 100% all the time. So we got about 12 minutes left. Because I can go all day with Chuck Jones. I'm telling you. Tell people where they can find you and about your campaign and how they can donate and how they can volunteer. Because you're going to want to help this man.
Yeah, you want to help me. First of all, I didn't get in this race to lose. If we were sitting down right now,
heck no, you're a winner.
If we were sitting down right now playing rummy or tonk or whatever, I don't kick your
Tonk?
ass.
What you know about the tonk?
I want to win. I don't like losing anything. They used to say I was a poor loser, and I probably am, but I don't like losing. It's
ain't no sense of doing it if you don't like it.
I didn't get in this race to lose, and I don't intend to. But with that being said, for 30 years, I had politicians calling me because, you know, as a local president, our union had money and we had people. Chuck, how you doing? You know, and I thought, oh, Jesus.
Here they
we go. Here they go. And the bottom line is that they had to raise some money for the campaign. And, you know, we helped them out. Well, you know, now I'm one of those guys. So I'm out there and I'm making the phone calls now. And I tell you what, it's not easy.
No.
You know, I don't care how well you know a person, you know, to say, hey, you know, send me some money. But anyway, you folks...
Send him some money.
You folks on the radio, whether I know you or not, I need some money. Now, how you can do that is you can go on my website at www.chuckjonesfortrustee.com, or also you can go on and make a check payable to me, and you can mail it. It can be made out to Chuck Jones for Wayne Township, and mail it to 2967 South Fleming Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46241.
Okay.
Now, we're doing pretty good on the fundraising. My competitor, he's a Republican. I'm not being primaried, but my Republican competition in November, he's getting money from large donations to businesses that he does business with through the fire department. I haven't got that luxury, so I'm asking the ordinary people, kind of like the Bernie Sanders of the West Side.
But Bernie Sanders of the West Side?
Yeah, you can't send me a lot, just send me some, because he's going to raise $70,000, $80,000. And I think I can be competitive on everything, but I got to be competitive on money. Now, sometime after the primary is over, Mayor Joe Hogsett has agreed to do a fundraiser for me.
All right.
I've been working with Senator Donnelly.
Okay.
And let me say this. Joe Donnelly won Marion County by 120,000 votes
right.
last time. Okay. He's got to win Marion County, which Wayne Township is a big part of Marion County.
Absolutely.
By a big margin. The Koch brothers are going to pork in whatever money that they can, and that's a lot, millions and millions of dollars to beat Senator Donnelly. He's the number one target in this country as far as Senate races. I've talked to Joe quite a bit. He needs my help. I need his help.
Okay.
I want to help get the voters out. And in my opinion, they'll vote for me, they'll vote for him. But we can't lose an opportunity to lose Joe Donnelly. Now, he's going to do a fundraiser for me, too. Met with Andre Carson. Andre is...
all the big boys.
Andre's popular.
Who doesn't love Andre?
You know, he's Teflon. And, you know, Andre's agreed to help me out on a fundraiser. I'm going to work with Andre on some other things. Andre don't need much help from me as I need from him.
Right.
But Andre is real popular in some of the churches, and he's agreed to me and him will buddy around a couple of those.
And see, and you know what? It takes, nobody can be successful alone. And I like that you have reached out to folk. You didn't even play. You was like, look, I need the mayor, Mayor Joe, Senator, I need you, Congressman, I need you. You're not afraid to ask for help because nobody is successful alone.
On the West Side.
You know, I tell HB all the time, you know, this, when I wanted to do the radio show, Harold Bell was like, you know, we call him Jumbo Love. He was like, do your thing, sister. Just, you have creative license to do what you need to do. I don't have this show if somebody doesn't give me a platform to have this show where we're helping people. So nobody is successful alone.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you are one, forget candidate. You're just one of my favorite people. My wife adores you. She was like, Chuck Jones.
I need women to vote.
And I love that. But you know what? It is so, what they heard from that other orange dude over there, and people were saying, but he's honest, and he says what he wasn't never honest.
No, I never was
He just shoveled a bunch of crap and made it seem like, right. You are an honest man, and you speak your mind. You're not sugarcoating it. I loved how you asked for money. I think I'm going to do better now just because I need your money. Just give me...
You know, the thing about it
love
is,
it.
you know, I wasn't looking for a job when I decided to run for trustee.
Right.
You know, like I said, I intend on winning. I'm going to win, but I'm not running for this damn thing for the money. 48 years in the plant, I got a pretty good pension.
Right.
Working all my life, I got a pretty good chunk of Social Security coming in. Am I in good shape? Hell no. But, you know, I didn't run because I'm chasing money. But I want to give a shout out to a couple other people, too.
Do it.
Mention them on the West Side. Carly Messer.
She's coming on in later in the fall, in the spring.
Carly has been a big help, and she has really got a big following on the West Side, along with Jared Evans, City County Councilor.
Yep.
And then we got Justin Moed that is doing a real good job.
He's doing a bang-up job.
In the Hallville and the area he represents. And I'm going to leave somebody out I know, and they're going to be jumping my ass. And,
that's all right. No, they're not finna mess with you.
No.
They know better.
But,
They know better.
I'm getting a lot of good people to help me.
You called yourself, we were at an event, and you were doing your thing on the West Side, and you called yourself a name. And you were proud to call yourself, do you remember?
Mm.
You called yourself a union thug.
Yeah.
I was like, he claimed it.
Well, and that's what they're saying. The behind the scenes Republicans are saying, you got to get that word out in this union thug. Well, I wear that proudly.
Hashtag.
Hoffa gave a lot of people bad impressions of what unions are about. I've been in unions 30 years, and folks, you're always going to have some bad elements out there.
In every demographic.
These people, that do the job as union officers, whether they're stewards or whatever, really and truly care about the people, or sure as hell wouldn't be doing it.
Ain't that it? Because it's not like it's paying a whole lot.
No, I lost money on that deal.
But when you care about people, man, like my wife sometimes looks at me when I'm driving up and down the highway and I'm here, there, and everywhere. She's like, are you getting a stipend? I'm like, well, no, baby, but this has to be done. This work has to be done. You do it for the people. You do it for the love of the people. And the bottom line is, when you are trying to help folks and you are doing things for the right reason, you will be successful, and you will be Wayne Township's next trustee. Yes. I'm loving it. Yo, Indiana's own Chuck Jones. Guys, I hope that you got as much joy out of listening to this real man. See, this is like my dad. Right, and I know you ain't old enough to be my father.
Oh yeah, I'm old enough.
I don't know. I'm up there, dog. I'm up there.
You look like
good black don't crack, man.
Yeah, I heard that. One more thing before we get off here. Dana has got a wonderful program going on. You folks will listen. You agree. She got to have some money, folks. Get her some sponsors. Send her some money. Let's try to help her out keeping this show alive. So if you got some bucks, or somebody that owns a business that might be interested in sponsoring it, that'd be great.
You know what? What else can I say?
She did not tell me to say that.
No, but like I said, when you are doing things for the right reasons, you get a team of positive energy and people behind you. Listen, guys, I know that a lot of noise comes from the top of the ticket, the Fed level. I know the Mueller investigation and Russia and dossiers and, the high turnover in this Trump administration has your attention. I know it has your attention. But come down ballot. I need you to vote for Senator Donnelly. I need to make sure that we flip some of these seats, these congressional seats. There's a primary going on in the 5th. There's a few candidates over there. Down in the 9th, there's a few great candidates down there. Make sure you're supporting them. Over in the 4th, I broadcast the 4th debate live. That was interesting. It's still on my Facebook page. Go check it out. But in the 6th, there's some good candidates down there. We got to flip more than just the White House. We got to send some new congressmen to the legislature and give Andre some help, give Representative Velosky some help. And then also look at your state house. There's a supermajority in your state house, both in the House and the Senate. You guys hear me talk about flipping seats. That's where my focus has always been. There are 70 Republicans and they lose their job, and I mean it, in the House. There's 70 of them. Now, will 70 lose? Probably not. That would only be like, the equivalent of a miracle. I get it. But 70 of them need to lose their jobs. Some of the legislation they passed, and they can't even count how many students are going to public schools, and all the public schools are being underfunded. Watch. Kentucky, Oklahoma is coming to Indiana. Y'all think I'm playing? It's coming, because the teachers here deserve more. They deserve better. But now you have somebody even down further on the ballot running for Wayne Township trustee. I live in Lawrence, and I don't get to vote for him, but I have a great trustee out there where I am. You guys support him. If you're going out on the west side in Wayne Township to knock doors for anybody, and you're for Carly Messer or for somebody, get some Chuck Jones door not hangers, get some Chuck Jones material, and pass that word around about a trustee that wants to use some of that $8 million that's sitting there for multiple reasons, and give it to the people who need it the most, those that are struggling, our marginalized groups. And this is the man to do it, because can you imagine somebody saying he can't have some money? Can you imagine? I'm about to I need to write this man a check.
By the way, if you need to get a hold of me for any reason, my cell phone number is area code 317-695-3425. You don't have to be about money. If you got problems that you want to discuss or whatever, how I'm available. If I don't take the call, I will call you back. That's a promise.
Well, see, like I said, he's just like my daddy. You make me miss him because you got a good heart and you on a mission to do good work with people. Thank you so much, Chuck Jones, for giving the people an hour of your time. You are amazing. You are much more than I ever imagined you would be on this show. You're awesome, and I cannot wait to see you shine and do in your second stint. Because, it look like you're going for a long time, my man.
Thank you, Dana, and shout out to Liz Watson in the ninth.
I have to stay neutral. Hi, Dan Cannon. I got to stay neutral.
Dan Cannon did meant to.
You guys have a great night. Indiana's own Dana Black. Turn left. Thank you, Radio Next. Collaborative 317. We will catch y'all later. The realest man on the ticket. I'm telling you. Holla at y'all later. I love it. Oh, are you kidding me?
That was awesome.